Hello, my loves. What if the life you're longing for is not far away? What if it is not hiding in a bigger title, a shiner opportunity, or some perfect future version of you? What if it is already here, looking you in the eyes? Welcome to the His Lady podcast, a place for the woman who is rebuilding, renewing, and rising. A place where we slow down enough to hear what is true. This is the place where becoming does not have to be hectic or chaotic in order for it to be holy. My name is Aji, and I'm so glad you are here. Now, if I'm honest with you, my MSc program has really been taking a toll on me lately. And one thing about me is this: I like my energy to really be right when I'm recording these episodes. So I never really want to force these conversations just because I want to say, oh, I've showed up. I want to come here whole, grounded, and always present. All right, so this morning I'm going to be booking my taxi in about 15 minutes, and I just thought, you know what? I will record this episode because this is the beginning of a new week and I'm just in a very good energy. So now, instead of trying to push out something new every week, I found myself returning again and again to episode 31, which is the quiet story burnout is trying to tell you. Now, in that slowing down, something happened. I shared this in my Soul Sunday newsletter, and I thought to myself, this is not for the newsletter girls. My podcast listeners need this too. Because sometimes when life slows you down, it is not to frustrate you. It is to show you something you've been too in a hurry to see. So I'm going to share this with you. Some years ago, while I was working with Health Education England, I was trained as a mental health first aider. Now, the purpose was really to support colleagues with immediate emotional and mental health needs. And my name was listed internally, and from time to time, I had some people who reach out to me for any sort of emotional and well-being support. Now, when I left the organization, I just assumed that, you know what, that chapter of my life already closed. And you know how we do? We place parts of ourselves into seasons and label them, you know what, I'm done, finished. That was past tense. And that was me. I did not imagine that part of me will matter again in a really serious and glorifying way, if I must say. Then, of course, life happened. Recently, I found myself in a role where someone needed to step in and provide rapid emotional support for people in distress. Now, I looked everywhere to find cover. Occasionally, I will get cover for these roles. And I really did. And I told myself, you know what? I'll do this for a short while still looking for someone who will support. And I just thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to do this for just a few months. And I'll do it for a few months until the bigger role arrived. That's how we say this is just a temporary, right? But something unexpected began to happen. Every session, every person, every story started teaching me something. Families will come in tears, tired, overwhelmed, frightened. I will see mothers and fathers bringing their sons and daughters, gripped by panic, confusion, fear, and pain. Husband and wife, or sometimes it's just wife. Some carry stories of betrayal, violation, so much wound that no one should ever have to hold alone. And slowly, I noticed a shift in myself. I was no longer trying to escape those moments. I was always waiting for them, always looking for those sessions, waiting to sit down, waiting to look at someone in the eye, waiting to ask the simplest and deepest questions. Tell me what really happened. And then they will pour themselves out, not just because I had all the answers or because I had a ground solution, but because I was just there and they could sense my presence. I was present. I'm always present, still, and just the willingness to listen. And this is where I discovered surprised me. Slowing down did not take anything from me. It gave me everything I did not realize I was looking for. A softer pace, more intention, a life that finally feels like mine. Because sometimes we're waiting for purpose to arrive, dressed in prestige, a bigger title, a more impressive role, an obvious kind of success. But sometimes purpose comes quietly through presence, through tenderness, through listening, through the part of you that you nearly dismissed because it didn't look glamorous enough. And I wonder how many of us are resisting the very place where God is trying to reveal us to ourselves. How many of us keep trying to run from the room, the season, the assignments, the pace, not realizing that the life we are longing for is already here, trying to meet us. Maybe the thing you keep calling an interruption is actually an invitation. Maybe the place that you keep trying to outgrow is the place where God is teaching you what is most true about you. I know many women listening to these are in the season where they're questioning everything. What am I doing? Is this really it? Why does life feel so different from what I had imagined? And I want to say this to you. Do not dismiss the quiet places. Do not overlook that part of yourself that come alive when no one is clapping. That might be the clue. That might be the holy place for you. That might be your holy ground, just like Moses' experience. This Easter, I found myself reflecting on resurrection in a different way. Not just rising, but actually softening. Not just moving forward, but becoming more fully present. And maybe that is the miracle some of us need. Not more noise, but more alignment. There is something sacred about sitting long enough to hear what is true. Just sitting there for God to reveal Himself. And if I can leave you with one question this week, it will be this. What if the life you are longing for is already staring you in the eyes? What if it is in the work you keep calling temporary? What if it is in the gift you keep calling small or side hustle? What if it's in your tenderness, but you keep trying to toughen up? What if it's in the place you keep trying to escape? What if God is not withholding your life from you? What if He is inviting you to notice it? So this week, I want you to slow down and ask yourself, what part of my life keeps calling for my presence? What am I resisting that may actually be revealing me? And so, my love, If this episode spoke to you, send it to a sister. Leave a review, and as always, give it 5 stars. And if you like to stay close, join the Soul Sunday newsletter at hislady.org. With love, Aji.